Hello and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. Today, I'm not as tired, but still a little bit tired. It's very warm, and we're drawing Ruby Heart, one of those new characters. I say new characters. One of the characters who is made for the game, so to speak. And yeah, as implied by that, we're continuing the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 mural. So let's do it. Okay, so since last time, I can't believe I've actually added anyone now that I think about it since last time, because it's been not too long since I did the last one. But yeah, we're doing Ruby Heart, so we should turn off the other characters because we will not be needing them. They will only further confuse our organizational structure. So, get all those characters away, get them out of here. So now we're just left with Ruby Heart. And, as is now becoming a frustrating tradition, I forgot to go and open my reference beforehand. Yeah, that happens way too often. I hate when that happens, just in general. Trying to think now, was this blended reference or not? I think it was. I think it was blended reference. I think I had an upper body, but not anything else. I don't think I had hands. I think I changed the hands. But yeah, as I mentioned there a minute ago, Ruby Heart is one of those characters who was made for the game. And by that I mean it's kind of, they say that that characters like Ruby Heart and Amingo were made for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but the common theory, I suppose, for lack of a better way of saying it, is that they were leftover concepts from something else, whether that be a Darkstalkers game or whether that was some other weird thing. They were characters who were left over from another thing which never got made, or never came out, or they were cut, or something or other. But yeah, that's the common theory, is that yes, they were from something else. And they weren't exactly made for the game, but this was their first and last, well, kind of last appearance, because some of them appeared as like cards and stuff like that in other things, or appeared as like a weird little cameo and stuff like that. But yeah, that was the type of thing they kind of appeared as from here on out. But to be honest, a lot of people assumed that Sanson is not, or was one of those types of characters who was made for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Not the case. Sanson is from an arcade game. Very obscure, weird arcade game. God, I don't know what's going down with my encoder. My encoder is fighting me here. This was happening yesterday as well. I think it might be just due to the heat in this room that's causing it. Let me have a peek at my settings here. I'll cut this. Okay, well, so far it's seeming like I'm just gonna have to pray that nothing bad happens, because if you saw the last video, you'll notice, if you watched it all the way to the end, you'll notice that it got a bit choppy within the last like 5 seconds. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, because if it does, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't fix that, because that's part of the recording. It's a recording error. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again, because as I said, there's no real way of fixing it if it does happen. But yeah, I suppose we'll actually start doing this. We'll start doing the drawing now. You know, I feel like a lot of the pirate stuff, a lot of kind of, I suppose, stereotypical pirate design elements, such as like the puffy shirt and all that stuff, it's very difficult to draw. So this is the thing this is I suppose a thing which you can do to evoke the feeling. If you don't feel like doing the whole thing, you just do some squiggly kind of sort of shapes that vaguely resemble what you're trying to do. Like the kind of the puffy shirt often has this type of kind of like rounded design element. So even though I'm not drawing it, you still know that that's what it's supposed to do, or that's what it's supposed to be. You can tell here that this is still supposed to be the puffy shirt, I think at least. And it's a workaround, so you don't actually have to draw all that much detail. That type of thing takes a while to draw. It is not a quick thing to do. But yeah, this is a surprisingly fun design to draw, is something that I'm finding here. Something that I'm also finding is that Ruby Heart has a lot of these little kind of lines on her design. Now that just means the line work here is going to take maybe, well, we're kind of getting through it surprisingly fast, given how I kind of expected the hair to take a lot longer, but it didn't actually take that long. But there's certain things like that which you kind of expect to take longer. And yeah, like it's a case of where, okay, is that supposed to be? Kind of. I think that's probably enough in terms of wrinkling. Yeah, it's a case of where I'm trying to be kind of judicious when it comes to the wrinkling here, because I'm not entirely sure what kind of materials Ruby Heart's costume is supposed to be made out of. Going to assume it's probably, I don't actually know what normal pirate costumes would be made out of. I was going to try and pull a material there, but I actually don't know what they'd normally make them out of. But yeah, probably something like that they would normally use. Yeah, no, it's a case of where here, like the hair as well, something with Ruby Heart's hair is that her hair always kind of like comes out and it kind of flows and falls out in these like little kind of tendrily looks, these kind of like curled locks that kind of flow in a very specific way. I don't know if there's a particular reason for that, but I assume it's probably supposed to be the kind to emphasize the kind of the seafaring nature and all this stuff of where it looks kind of like seaweed, maybe. I don't know if that's the purpose or not. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, and it remains vaguely ambiguous. Yeah, I'm trying to be conscious of how long I spend talking here, because I don't want the encoder to overheat or overload, and I believe the reason for that happening is the computer heat, which right now is okay. It's kind of mild. It's warm but not boiling, and that's because of just how high I have that fan set up whenever it's on. But this is the thing, it can't be on while I'm speaking, because then you wouldn't be able to hear me. Well, you'd be able to hear me, but you'd also be able to hear just in the background as well, and that wouldn't be fun to listen to. So yeah. Okay, that is our full drawing done. Well, full details done. I entered focus mode there, so I was quiet for quite a while. But I don't think there was any huge details I wanted to really go too deep into. Other than I suppose, yeah, the kind of I already kind of talked about the kind of classic pirate look and how that makes the character very unique, because you don't really get many characters that there's a few characters in fighting games who have that appearance, but not a huge amount of them. Not like a ton of them. Only a handful, really, that I can think of off the top of my head. And it's weird to me that they just never brought this character back in any fashion at all, because it's such a strong design. The character's also kind of fun to play. They could have done something more with that. I mean, it's kind of weird that they never did anything with it at all. It's just kind of strange. Because yeah, it was one of these things where, as I mentioned before, if it is true that it was just like they had the art, they had even sprite work started maybe, and they just kind of dumped the character into Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's kind of weird, kind of strange, kind of weird that they do that. But yeah, we'll do our dots and then we'll move on to our colors. Okay, there's our dots. Done. Now, it's time for the colors. And yeah, went a little darker on the dots than I had intended necessarily. But once the colors go on, it won't be too bad. It shouldn't be too noticeable. I've done it again, I've forgotten what I was going to say. I can't believe it, it happens every time. At least one topic I was going to bring up. Oh yeah, I remembered it. Thank God. I'm just going to give Ruby Heart the same skin tone as Guile, more or less. We'll probably... that's probably about right. Maybe slightly redder. Oh, maybe not that red. Make her a touch paler. That'll work, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, what I was just gonna say was that, yeah, throughout this video you've probably been enjoying the sounds of the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 music, which, as I've said in the series, maybe isn't the most fitting thing for fighting game, but it does make for good background noise. It does make for a good background piece of music for this. Because yeah, you'd maybe want something with a little bit more energy for a big climactic battle between two huge franchises of characters. But it's a thing, I guess. But yeah, it's good music anyways. So, doesn't matter that much, I guess. Anyways, we'll do the colors. Okay, there's our colours done. Now we've just got our shading. I feel like this is actually surprisingly close in terms of the colours to the reference that I have. Maybe the brown is a little redder
than it is in the image, and the white is a little brighter than it is in the image. It kind of skews much more silvery in the reference that I have. But yeah, we're nearly done. Nearly done. How is it that this video, where I have to draw a character who is infinitely more complicated than last time, how is it that in this video, this is the time where I end up getting stuff done way faster? Only an hour and a half in. We'll be done before the 2 hour mark at this rate. How the hell does this happen? It's kind of annoying almost in the ways that this happens, because it's a case of where I expected Hulk and Zangief to be quick, because I only have to draw basically just their lines and do light shading on that. But then like this one, which is a character who has a lot more going on visually than those characters, not even 2 hours. Ridiculous. Okay, that's our shading done. Now we're just onto the light line, and that's it. That's the end. That's the last thing we gotta do. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. This has actually been a surprisingly easy one, to be honest. I would have expected, given the kind of complexity of the design, well, within reason, the complexity of the design, that this actually would have taken longer, but really it hasn't. Mercifully, I suppose it hasn't taken that long. I prefer when these are quicker, even if it is a case of where like I am enjoying it. It's a case where I do prefer whenever they're a little faster, because it just makes my life easier. Also, I'm dying of thirst right now, so I'll try and finish this up so that my voice doesn't go dry. Okay, that is everything done. We're finished. We got our light line done, we got our shading done, we've got everything else done. So, that means we can zoom out and we can put on the other characters. I can turn off the background, and yeah, we can see that it looks a lot bluer whenever it's not against a blue background. Yeah, we can turn on our other characters, we can turn on Zangief. We can turn on all the other Capcom characters, and yeah, we're getting to that point of where we're not much space left to fit all these characters in, so we're gonna need to be zooming out even more and more each time, and still I feel like it's gonna be a push to fit them all in. It's kind of a push to fit them all in into a vaguely zoomed in format. But yeah, so yeah, that's us done. I don't really, yeah, again, as per usual, I don't really have much of a kind of like a wrap up thought kind of thing to be doing here. But yeah, next time we'll be doing Cable, so yeah, that'll be an interesting one to do. But yeah, that's us. I will wrap up. So, if you like the video, do what you normally do. I'm not going to pressure you. If you would like to like the video, I would be very happy, but you don't have to. Subscribe if you want, same deal. If you want to subscribe, you can keep up with the videos a little easier. But if you don't want to, that's fine. And yeah, if you decide to watch the next video, I'll see you then. Thank you for viewing this one. Bye bye.